Hello, everyone out there in YouTube. Welcome to Everything Geek. This is Hawkflame, Geek of all trades, fanboy of none. And boy, this is a really amazing time to be a DC fan, as there are not one, but two live-action iterations of the Superman family going on right now. One in film, the other in television. But I gotta admit, they're not exactly the same in quality. One's clearly worse than the other one. One of them is exciting and emotionally engaging. It has a really interesting take on the person behind the S. And the other one is frustratingly written, has a really wasted opportunity for a superhero crossover, and ultimately just doesn't. One of them is exciting and emotionally engaging. It has a really fresh take on the person behind the S. And the other is frustratingly written, wastes a really good opportunity for a superhero crossover, and it ultimately just doesn't work. What? Yes, I'm dead serious about this. Welcome everyone to a new series I'm starting here on Everything Geek called Top 5. Every Friday or Saturday I'll be uploading a new Top 5 list about any issue in the geeky world. And to start it off, I'm going to go with the top 5 reasons why I think Supergirl, yes, CBS's Supergirl, is better than Batman v Superman. Or at least why I think the Supergirl are better Superman stories. Now I get that's a different comparison since they're on two different mediums, but the comparison is really about whether or not they use the qualities as mediums to best tell the stories in which the world that they live, the world of the House of L, and why I think Supergirl is more successful in those respects. So with that in mind, let's get started. Number 5, economization of storytelling. One of the biggest criticisms I have of Batman v Superman is the way in which the story is told. In the film, screen time is a precious commodity. You have 2, maybe 3 hours to tell a complete, fleshed-out story from beginning to end, while developing your main supporting characters and giving them all some reason to exist in the film. Batman v Superman has a lot of characters and subplots that don't really contribute a whole lot to what should be the greater narrative. That is the clash of 2 iconic superheroes. One hopeful, the other cynical, and how they have ideological differences on how to reach what was ultimately the same goal of making the world a better place in which to live. Why does that sound familiar? Lois, for instance, has the important role of figuring out that Lex Luthor is the bad guy. Wow, shocker. While Perry White kind of goes around being gruff. And I'm really not sure how much Scoop McNairy and Holly Hunter's characters really contribute to anything. I don't even remember their names. That's how so meaningless they were. I mean, given that they were just unceremoniously dropped off from the film at points. The entire scene in Congress could have been taken out without any impact on the rest of the movie, really. Hell, even Wonder Woman, as awesome as she was one of my favorite parts of the film, was really ultimately kind of unnecessary. Supergirl, on the other hand, makes good use of the characters they have. Now, you may argue this is a TV show and we have a lot more time to spend and get to know these characters, but never at any point did I look at any of the leads and really see that they were unnecessary. Jamie is a cool, older and wiser friend / love interest who was able to give her some perspective in life so he learns from the best. Wynn is the best friend she can lean on for support. Hank / John is the father figure that she hadn't had in years. Cat Grant is the inspiring, powerful woman that she looks up to. And Alex, the sister who can push her in tough times and laugh with her in the good. You have a distinct and important relationship with the core of the show, which is Kara and the core theme of family. Kara lost her family and her planet as a child, but she was able to find it again on Earth, and it's not limited to just Cousin Cal or even just the Danvers. Many episodes there are at the core about building relationships with her friends, her family, even National City itself. It really is contributing to the whole core idea of the show, these characters. Number 4, an inspirational tone. Now, don't get me wrong, not all good Superman stories have to be uplifting. Some of my favorite moments in the comics are ones in which he has to deal with the weight of the world on his shoulders. But just the Spider-Man just gets here a little too quickly. We need to see the hope and optimism of the character before we see the downside of being that guy so we can feel his absence and appreciate the hope when it comes back. And here Superman just seems kind of lost in this movie. They say he's a figure of hope and inspiration, but doesn't really shine through. Supergirl, on the other hand, never fails to make me smile. There's a sense of joy and positivity here that some would say is kind of cheesy, but I kind of like it. And Melissa Benoist's Supergirl is really clucky and charismatic, and most of the characters here are just flat-out likable people, maybe aside from some villains. The show just makes me feel good, which means that not only when it doesn't get a bit darker, it makes it really mean more when it comes back. Number 3, it earns its dramatic moments. Spoiler alert here for Batman v Superman, you have been warned. Both of these shows have had moments of intense drama. Both have scenes where if everything is done well and done right, they will leave you with a tear in your eye. But Supergirl has actually done the legwork here more consistently, making you care about the characters and the emotional states. In the season finale, when Kara has to face what is likely a suicide mission without her friends knowing, we feel the power of what is essentially her last words to each of them because we saw how their relationships grew over the series. Hell, even the endings of regular episodes like For the Girl Who Has Everything, really work because of these connections that have been established between the characters and the audience. We see Kara's attachments to both Earth and Krypton in earlier episodes, and we understand the meaning of a struggle to choose because of this, and therefore it makes the ending much more powerful and stronger. There are moments in Batman v Superman that do this. Credit to Ben Affleck and the great performance in the opening flashback of Metropolis for making you care about him the second he shows up. But the big moment, Superman's death against Doomsday, Snyder blew it. The emotional connection I had with Henry Cavill's Superman in Man of Steel, which I liked a lot, and I hoped it was going to be building to something bigger than this, it just kind of stalled here and never really got anywhere. You need to have that in order to make the death matter. But because of this, and because of the lack of impact and the loss of hope that I mentioned before, I didn't feel that much when Superman, one of my favorite characters, died. Not to mention it was completely unnecessary. Why didn't you just give the spear over to Batman? It seems like the whole thing that the characters do here is just not out of motivation, but out of just some need to serve the plot. That was weird. Anyway. Number 2. A more fully formed superhero. Superman has long been a tough sell. He's too perfect, he's too powerful, he's too nice. So often there are attempts to bring Superman down to earth, but I think this one takes it a little too far here. I get that you want to make him someone relatable, someone who has the burden of being a god, but can we at least see him being the inspiring figure he's supposed to be? Now, as I said before, I really like Man of Steel. I liked it as a different, more grounded take on the story of becoming Superman. But now we're past that point. Let's actually see Superman. In Supergirl, not only we do see Supergirl fully formed here, and she's maybe a little more pre-crisis than New 52 current Supergirl, but it's still the same anyway. And yet she clearly hasn't perfected being a superhero, and she's learning on the job and trying to figure everything out. But by God, she's really still trying to be the hopeful, inspiring figure publicly, even if privately she's expressing a lot of frustration behind the scenes. And the number one reason why Supergirl is better than Batman v Superman, the importance of showing versus telling. And I don't mean just the difference between exposition and visual storytelling. Give meaning and context to things in the film, rather than just displaying them. Make it an experience, rather than something that the audience just sees or hears. That's a problem that recurs throughout the first 4 issues here, and it's a big difference between these two takes on the world of Superman. They say in Batman v Superman that he's a source of inspiration and hope, but we don't feel it or see it being a source of inspiration and hope beyond just some scenes of crowds with their outstretched arms look at him like he's a Jesus Christ figure. We see him rescue people, but is that really enough to show his inspiration and hope qualities? I don't think so. Similarly, as far as some of the issues go, Batman v Superman mentions some high-minded issues and themes, and it doesn't really do anything with them. It mentions things like how much power one person should have, or whether or not this kind of vigilante justice is appropriate, but it doesn't go anywhere with them. It just plays lip service to these high-minded themes, and otherwise comes off as a cynical ploy to see a kick-ass fight scene between 2 superheroes, one of whom is an American red and blue Boy Scout, and the other is an armored billionaire gadget-wielding playboy. Wait, what do you mean that sounds familiar? Supergirl, above all, gives the audience an experience. We aren't just told of her being a ray of hope or just see images of her saving people. We feel her interaction with the public. We see her do things like not just stopping a bank, but getting things out of trees. We see her even giving some kind of confidence and encouragement to a bullied young girl. We feel that she's not just a superhero, but she's friends with everyone in National City. Supergirl also doesn't just talk about some of the themes of the first season about family and the connections that she's started to form while here on Earth because of the fact that she's kind of suffered a lot at a young age. There are a lot of episodes here that really built to this, addressing some of these issues and ideas really meaningfully, so that once again pays off when it comes to the finale, when she has to make that sacrifice. And it's not just a greater overall story arc here, but individual episodes as well that work in this regard. Take the episode called Manhunter. There's the episode Manhunter, where in flashbacks we see her as a child on Earth as kind of this outcast and loner because of these weird powers that she has, and the fact that she's literally from another planet. And because of these new abilities, she's trying to struggle to fit in, like her X-ray vision is going off and things like that. And so what she does, and she and the Danders create a persona of her that's less a disguise and more of a downplaying of certain parts of who she is. Not really a secret identity, but a way of dealing with the otherwise crippling loneliness she would feel as a result. And she does this at great cost, suppressing her desire to be Supergirl until just this past year. It addresses the core themes of the show has human connections, finding a place in the world, and it really deals with these themes in a meaningful way. Anyway, those are my top 5 reasons why I think Supergirl is better than Batman v Superman. Feel free to disagree if you want, and you probably will, and go if you want to, write in the comments section below. This is Hawkflame, Geek of All Trades, Fanboy 1, and saying farewell until next time when we can continue to talk everything geek. How's that for a new outro?